We'll let the Korean casters talk first because we're bobbing our heads to the song. Irelia, the first ban on the blue side. Lava playing a lot of it in solo queue. 0-2 on the season, but still showing respect for solo queue performance. The likely Talia player if Jinair was to lock it in, but it's going to be banned away already by Hanwha Life Esports. Let's see where the trends are, because Nocturne and Shen were left open in our last draft. Shen going to be banned away here. Would they first pick away the Zoe? That's the one that's exciting for me. Lava and Grace have both shown Zoe in the past. I think Lava would love to play it. And I already mentioned Taric Master Yi when Umti's in the game, and the Taric banned on the side of HLE.
Yeah. They're okay with the Yi, I suppose, as long as he doesn't have Cosmic Radiance to help him out and keep him alive underneath all of that pressure. So might as well just ban one of them. Taking a long time with these bans. Some of the teams are a bit faster than others, but Jinair down to 0 seconds.
Jinair Coach Fly will ban away the Lulu. So what does that mean for the strategy here from Jinair? When you think of power level, then definitely we're thinking of the Zoe, we're thinking of the Nocturne. Those are two big picks that for now I looked at. Camille as a jungle pick for is another big one. You might just see Hanwha Life Esports ban none of those 3 champions and take 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
But they will ban away the Zoe. So the Zoe priority is very, very high. As you can tell, for both these teams, I'm sure Hanwha will blind pick it. First pick on blue side in game number 2 if left open. So for Jinair, will it just be Camille? Because that was Cacao on the Camille last time out that struggled. That was their first pick on blue side in game 3 of the previous series. So it's going to be Cacao. Out of the lineup, in. It seems like will largely be the favorite to pilot this Camille.
Yeah, it's good. Get him on something aggressive, you know, outside of the Graves, the Nunu he's been playing. Take that away, put him on Camille. See how he can do, and Hanwha Life now have a very hard question ahead of them. Other big picks still left available, a bunch of them. You got the Rise here for Songyun could be, but it's also a really good flex pick in general nowadays.
Been a lot of bot lane Rise, and less of it in the solo lanes, but Lava has played it in the recent memory. If you think about it, does very well into Vladimir, but they're actually going to straight up take both. This is Songyun's way. My impression here is that Songyun will play Vladimir. There was an interview he did with OGN, Joel Translator, that basically talked about how he was surprised, personally, because of course he's not usually a Vladimir player, how well Rise did into Vlad. He played the reverse of the matchup in pro play, and now, of course, the Rise counter pick or pseudo counter pick is off the board. They've taken both of them. Probably going to be Vlad bot lane. And it's going to be Illusion straight up. So Teddy says, if Ruler can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, that's a couple of games already on Teddy for the Lucian, so he wants to go with something with a bit more consistency. It was the only 80 carry he won on, and again, we got more consistency. Nova on the Rakan again.
That's what we want to see. His engages were fantastic, won the MVP in that victory over King Zone. All right, how are we going to round out the first round? Usually jungle pick is taken in the first round, so see if Songwan will take one of his favorites. Now, he's also an Elise picker, so maybe he can wait till later in the draft and show something, or if he wants to go power level, then you have to take Xin and Nocturne now, and they actually go for the Nocturne. You look at the side of Jinair, and it's not necessarily the sort of team that you usually pick Nocturne to counter, as Zoe, for example, is a free food for a Nocturne. He's going to try and get in the face of the Lucian, but there's already strong engage from Jinair. Now there's going to be some engage on the Hanwha Life Esports side as well.
This is Sowan's family, by the way. Sowan Whiting there on the left. Nice smiley face, too. Everybody coming down. I saw them actually walk in together. Cute family coming down to support their jungler, their favorite jungler.
Now we're going to see Jinair with the band support their own support player. Awkward turn of phrase, but Rakan taken and Soraka banned just to remove some lane presence away from the Rise or the Vladimir, whichever one will end up bot lane. Hey, a Mundo ban. Mundo ban for power level. That means he can play Darius even freer, perhaps. So will we see a Darius, or will Linderung be on the top lane Rise? This is a question we might have answered very promptly.
Might wait and see and try to counterpick that top side. Always have the options with flex picks on this patch. And another support going to be taken away will be the Leona. He hasn't played that just yet, but still going to take that one away. Support is key. Hanwha fighting.
Now that is the sort of English phrase the Korean fans will understand and appreciate as
well.
You got
a cheer.
I know, it's great. It was great, actually. So that was nicely done. Masterfully done, if I do say so myself. Tahm Kench going to be the support pick. They banned Soraka for lane presence and Leona for countering Rakan's fast movement abilities, like his E, his battle dance. Nicely done there, and that means the Tahm Kench are a bit more safety. They don't have a siege comp, but that's usually where Tahm gets the most value. So just defaults to Tahm. All right, Jin-Air, we're still getting a bit cheesy. Waiting to see.
There it is. Karthus right now, and Nunu as well. So, well, there you go. We needed mid and jungle, we thought, but actually we will have the Camille going in the top lane.
And So-Won has been a great Camille top for a long time, but just like when we saw Gen G pick it and say it's definitely a Haru pick, your first thought was jungle. Maybe Kakao had some words that, I don't know about this jungle Camille, I don't know what's going on there, and So-Won's decided to flex it. Fun stuff. And now a Nocturne's diving into a Defile.
Really?
That's pretty sad. Are they going to be looking for a Fizz mid lane? Okay.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of AP damage, right? It's burst and sustained. From the Fizz is burst, and then you got a bit of burst from Vlad, but also sustained with the Rise and Vlad, so
I think this probably has to be Fizz mid lane, and this is another strategy to try to attack Nunu Karthus, because if you put down deep wards, it doesn't matter if Nunu or Karthus takes the Shark, they are going to die. The Nunu are going to die pretty much just the ultimate straight up, because it's so under-leveled. Lava and a lot of mid lanes are playing this in solo queue against Irelia in particular. Fizz is considered a risky but possible counter pick into the Irelia just for one-shot rotation. So hands over his mouth saying, I'm going to have to stick with this exhaust. I wonder if he will, because exhaust and flash kind of both needed on the side of the Nunu.
Well, we've all seen the Nunu, the slave Nunu that we have with Karthus. His only job is to blood boil. You blood boil and you exhaust whoever's trying to kill Karthus, and then you die. Hopefully you can stay alive to blood boil more, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Sometimes you can get an ultimate off.
Yeah. For like
next to the
half
Karthus,
second. Yeah.
To slow them down.
And you just slow them forever as well with your snowball, and it's just you keep them in place for your Karthus, right? You're essentially just like a little add-on to the Karthus, and you don't really have any value yourself.
Well, we're definitely getting some add-ons to the meta. New champion in the Fizz, trying to hunt onto the Nunu and Karthus. I need to see some deep vision, maybe even a level 6 on the Nocturne. The Shark hits, probably the Paranoia follows it. But I take your point, a lot of magic damage, but then again, probably not going to be a lot of magic resist built up from Jin-Air.
Yeah, that's going to be the case, most likely. I'd see a bunch of Merc Treads, I guess, just to help deal with that. But the game is ready, rather, so let's jump into game number 1. Jin-Air Green Wings up against Hanwha Life Esports. Here we go, game number 1 of match 13. Coming in here, lucky and unlucky number 13 for both of these teams.
I'm feeling lucky, because I always like when a champion is added to the played column. And that would be the Fizz in this case. Electrocute Fizz, if you guys are wondering. And notice you pointing Valdez to the fact that Linderung is going for a different summoner. We've seen a lot of Electrocute Vlad in the duo lane for the burst, going for the Unsealed Spellbook. We only had a couple of them this week, in case you guys weren't keeping up on the patch notes. When you use a summoner spell, you're able to replace it with one. Your original summoner spell, the Teleport, I would imagine most of the time, is going to be still cooling down in the background. You switch over to, say, an Ignite. You can only switch over to Ignite again after a couple more swaps. When you use that spell, and guess what? Good old Teleport is back available. because the cooldown is all coming in the background.
It's really good for Vlad, too, because you talk about Ignite, but also Ghost is really good for the Vlad getting into position and just doing Vlad things. And talk about early vision. Level 1 Fizz, after clearing out the mid lane, comes over and kills a control ward and even stops that ward from going down.
Control ward is very important to be cleared because it provides permanent vision for the for the safe topside takes of things like the Rift Scuttle and also the roam from mid lane. Take those camps, the blue buff, the walls, and the Gromp. So that means that Grace and Umti will be taking the bot side Scuttle. I was concerned Umti took that one, but I'm going to guess that he didn't. He only has 2 creep score.
Yeah.
Relic Shield is the choice here, coming through from the Nunu. Can't take both a smite item and also a gold generation item anymore. So will not be able to go down the smite line, but yeah, he's just going to be a moving Sightstone and Blood Boil bot.
That's what he's going to do. An important job, somebody's got to do it. And even though we've said many a time that sometimes aggressive jungling from Umti gets Jennare ahead and wins them games, well, this time they're putting all their, you know, they're just gonna
put all their eggs in.
The eggs, okay, the eggs go into the basket for Grace, and he's just gonna do the carrying instead. And they have a lot of other damage to support him as well, the Camille and the Lucian, and a lot of engage too from the Rakan, which Nova has proven once again here that he's a pretty good Rakan.
And Teddy threaded in the Q there, better than I expected. Very, very nice. The piercing light, that's the tip of it, was able to hit over to Sang-Yoon. I was stealing that one from Atlas, in case you're wondering. There was a time where the tip of everything was hitting things quite a lot. Looking at the history, very even matchup between Jennare and the former Rocks Tigers, now Hanwha Life Esports.
Yeah.
Now, Hanwha have a jungler, and Jennare doesn't, so these things can happen. They're called ganks.
Yeah, they are. I forgot what they were called, but thank you for letting us know. Soan in a little bit of trouble. Good stun, though, actually. The fear comes in and a flash away, and, well, Soan has to flash the wall. The minion kills him! First blood! Oh, boy. Big mistake. A failed dive in the top lane for Hanwha, perfectly handled by Soan.
And someone's going in.
Gets the flash, too, at a Linderong. This guy is styling all over them.
This guy just outplayed the hell out of Songwon and Linderong. If you just run down the things he got 2 flashes and a kill if you don't mind, for just his own flash. Sick outplay. And maybe those ganks are overrated because we saw one and ended up being a donation to the side of Jennare Green Wings.
Got to see the replay, the way that he handled it, just getting behind the turret, using his hook shot to stun them as they came in and flashing over the turret. He used the turret as so much terrain to help him away from those 2 guys.
I wonder if Sungwon's parents know the game well enough to understand that their family member got heavily outplayed. He's now found a target he's much more confident against, the Rift Scuttle. As we're going to watch the replay, what I want you guys to notice is when he uses his hook shot. Hasn't used it, and then he uses it under turret to guarantee the aggro flashes over it. Linderong drops aggro. That was changed a long time ago, how the aggro juggling has to be different in this meta. So by Songwon on the advance, but Grace will get away.
He finally gets a flash of another member of Jennare, at least. But, I mean, now Soan with red buff specifically. The fact that he killed Songwon is even better for him. Takes that red buff away, refreshes it. He has the flash down on Linderong, and that's just not so good of a lane there for Linderong now.
Not often. The team with the funnel gets the first blood, and that's what that provides. Is if that means winning lane top, a free farm in the mid lane with a hyper farmed up funneled Karthus, and Teddy and Nova winning trades as well. This is the thing that a lot of these funnel strategies in Korea haven't been able to get, because in the draft, something else is punishing them. Maybe the Bruise Bros in bot lane, Mordekaiser and Ornn, when KT were playing against the funnel comp, are just winning lane straight up and no one can gank the Mord. He's overextended. Gank him. Well, there is no jungler to deal with that. They're getting everything at the same time, including the vast majority of the gold, all going the way of the Karthus. Feels like they're winning. It's like they got the spoilers on the lottery numbers and they're just waiting for the draw.
It's a really good start for them, no doubt. We'll see if they can actually put that into a a sufficient lead here as we do go longer along this game. And, well, as you guys should know, the Karthus is going to be able to farm a ridiculous amount. Even the Nunu was able to pick up some creeps, but those are all for his item as well. So, yeah, just tons of farm to him. You're having a really great lane up in the top side. Bot side is also doing quite well. Everything going well here for Jin Air.
Game goes on. Want to see how level 6 Nocturne and the Fizz invade. Big thing that KT were able to do is they put a single ward to the left of the blue side mid lane turret, and then this Nocturne ulted on site. They've got 2 ults that can really undo Karthus and Nunu. I think that smite did go the way of Umti.
Yeah, Umti was able to smite that one down. Not Grace, though. He didn't smite it. By the way, smite Karthus for you guys who are just wondering. Speaking of just wondering, Sohan might just be able to solo this down, the empowered Q, but he has a Karthus on the backside. Will it be enough damage? One more ability will do it. Not enough, actually. Sohan decides he's not going to be diving on in there, and Linderong just barely gets away. Kindle
Gem does its job, just enough ability, power, and health to sustain through to the ultimate heal and his final Q. Very, very close stuff, but it shows you still the Camille is running the lane, has no sustain from items, but an item lead from the failed turret dive. Songwon desperately behind in experience, as Linderong just uses his pull for a bit of a movement speed increase to try to get back to lane faster.
Yeah, he does have that lifesteal item now too, so he'll get back up to health. No worry, guys, but even so, he's going to be missing a bunch of those minions up on the top side. Looks like finally Lava will get a blue buff for himself over towards the mid side. And Someone is level 6 alongside P, who is in the mid lane. Nova also roaming up here, but they'll definitely be looking for those Nocturne ultimates, trying to shut down this Karthus.
I just need to see a Fizz ultimate thrown out. If you're going to go for Fizz in this scenario, provide no wave clear for your team in the early or mid game, find it very difficult to push into the Karthus Nunu, despite being able to use your Playful Trickster very liberally because you're not worried about being ganked. You need to be able to pick up the kills, and they don't have the vision either, Valdez. They need to get vision on the blue or red side. They do have some red wards, but that's the only place they can go right now. And you notice Nocturne is too far away from that camp, so that means they won't even be able to punish around the red buff.
The red buff easily just handed over to Grace too, so it's going to be even a more ridiculous spot for him. Some health regen too. Umti doing a good job on the Nunu. Don't usually.
What does that mean?
Don't usually say that very often, but he's you know, he's got his scanner. He's clearing out all the wards, those wards we were talking about. He knows the objective of the Nocturne and the Fizz, and he knows what he's supposed to do here. So.
He's last hit some minions too, 24 CS, that's pretty good.
You know? He's got an item that helps out with that one too. A wall onto Lava just to say, hey, back off.
Let me give some credit to the Nunu.
Go.
He has Exhaust Smite against Nocturne Nocturne Fizz, and he hasn't died at 10 minutes. That's pretty good. Not dying with no flash against this comp is something that should be complimented.
Exactly. So he's doing a good job. See if he can keep it up. Unfortunately, the Drake will go over to Hanwha Life. They're thinking about going onto Lava here. Maybe he used that Playful Trickster, so they wanted to punish him. But either way, Infernal Drake going to be fantastic here for the side of Hanwha Life. They have Fizz, Rise, Nocturne, Vladimir, and a support to help them do damage. So it's a pretty good Drake.
For an AoE dive wombo, any extra AP and AD is going to be very, very welcome. Bot lane been very, very passive as top side now with the Executioner's calling, largely from the extra snowball gold. Not going to slow down the Trinity Force too much, so one can be annoying. He stopwatches online, so very unlikely he's going to pick up a solo kill, even with the Karthus ultimate to back him up. Karthus going for the same build. There's so many sustained champions, sometimes Soraka, this time Vlad. Merlinomicon second become very, very common on the Karthus. My only complaint, lower overall AP values, so no 1,000 AP Karthus at 20 minutes.
Yeah, kind of messes with the cool numbers we can get with this strategy, but it's still the right thing to do. Always do the right thing. I'm excited to see what Linderong will take eventually with that Unsealed Spellbook when he decides to go for it. But still, for now, just going to keep that teleport. We saw Nunu actually roaming up to the top side. I thought maybe we might get a gank, but actually, no, he's just clearing out vision.
He's being hunted a little bit by the side of Hanwha, but able to sidestep all of it. Notice he doesn't have his Relic Shield upgrade yet in terms of being able to have the ward. The quest is not cashed in. He has Targons, but no wards to put down, and now they're going to try with some more bad guys.
How about 5 bad guys? Does that sound good enough to you? Sorry, Sohan. You're going to have a hard time there. Everybody piling up into the top lane, looking for the first blood turret as well.
They're going to try and fight against this, though.
Oh, nice engage there onto 3. Good devour out of P, but someone is going to go down. Linderong jumping on in there, but he's not fed enough. Double kill all ready for the Karthus in the back, and he's even going to ult there. 3 go down on the side of Hanwha Life as Jinner come back.
The ult's not perfect, but the answer is from the side of Jinner. They pile in, they call in the teleport and say, we can make this play work. They can. Sending 4 members with the Camille dead gets them 3 kills. And they're top lane, so why not a Rift Herald on the backside?
Keep that turret alive. That's so good in terms of the gold swing. Hanwha Life had to get the turret and then lost 3 people. It would have been a little bit more even, but now this swings heavily in tempo towards Jinner, who will give that over to Umti, actually. Nunu has a job now. He's got the Rift Herald.
Finally, the job hunting for poor little Nunu has paid off. This is where you're tilted from the last time you tried a turret dive, and you bring all of your friends trying to end the laning phase in a lot of different globals. So with the Abyssal Voyage and the Rise Realm Warp, they try to take down the turret, but they see the turret, and notice how many people decide it's low, let's stay on and try and last hit it. That is the big punishment is from here. Teddy has no threat on him. They know all the ults are down. They dogpiled onto the Camille. Everything is down from the side of Hanwha Life Esports. The ultimate, that was a bit of a mistake. The long cooldown wasted, but they're just cashing in here, Jinner, from Hanwha's mistake.
TP coming in from Teddy was funny too. Immediately brings out the culling to do some of that upfront damage. And the Nunu ultimate actually did well just because of the really fantastic engage from Nova. Gets 2 people in that one. Knocks up the Vladimir, makes him useless for the beginning of the fight. And the extra damage, of course, is going to go to your funnel-fed Karthus.
Nunu will not end this game. Less than 1,000 damage dealt. 570 in just that team fight. Thank you very much. I need to talk to Umti after this game about how he feels about so many games of Nunu. Is his 3rd or 2nd? I forget, but
it's his 2nd.
I remembered the first one. It was a little bit sad. This one, he's doing much better. Look at that. He was zoning away a level 11 Fizz.
You just know he's trying to pad his damage stats. He doesn't even care. Like, what does that do exactly on the Fizz? And here we go. Finally, Umti showing up big. Maybe he deserves the MVP for this. Who knows? Will there ever be a funneler that gets the MVP? Kind of doubt it.
Ian probably deserved it for that first turret game. Every ult was beautiful. Charge comes in. Most of the mid lane turret down. So much here has happened against the funnel strategy that has failed, that the funnel strategy is popping off. They're 1,400 gold ahead. In other games where we've seen no action, but just the funnel team's been down 1,000 gold, but the counterpoint is at least most of their gold is on the hypercarry. Here they're ahead in gold, and most of the gold is on the hypercarry. They even got this side lane. They got that big assist earlier.
Linderong's in a bit of trouble trying to turn it around actually with the ultimate, but Karthus coming from behind. The stopwatch is enough, and all of a sudden, they turn it around, perfectly executed by Linderong and Someone to get that kill.
Marvel of the stopwatch, seeing much more after the small buffs came through, and in a meta where it's all about pick. Able to trade up in that scenario. Teddy and Nova will get a lot of turret damage done, but not enough to take the turret, I wouldn't think. Kench going to join them quickly. Here comes the duo, though.
Oh boy, they might be in a bit of trouble here. The exhaust even coming down. Sungwon will be the first target. Look at how much the Q does in terms of damage. Umti, he's on slowing duty. Can he get one snowball? Looks like he's out of mana, and actually a TP out of Linderong.
Well, there's actually no interrupts between the two champions. So take that, I'm gone, says the Vlad, I think was out anyway. He may not have appreciated that. Able to escape. Pulled one snowball, ran out of mana. There wasn't going to be any more, so we get to see the replay, courtesy of Stopwatch. We never got that stopwatch sponsor. I think Rolex really missed out on an option there. They probably need to advertise, and they're not doing so well. Watch the replay. Stopwatch is up. That'll be a Zonia's later. But for now, Nocturne comes through. Look, Mom, get the camera. I got a kill, says Sungwon.
He finally did it. After that early dive that failed, and the second one, at least they killed Sowan that the second time.
This lane wasted 336 damage, where is it? 334 damage. That's already pretty good, but not stacking ability power. And Linderung, well, he got a first class ticket out.
Hey, you know, he did the right thing. He pulled the slow. If he didn't do that, he might have been in a bit of trouble. Maybe the Karthus gets in there and the TP can be interrupted by a death, perhaps.
Folk shoes and Morellonomicon, so probably close to true damage also with all the flat magic penetration between those two things. Again, the funnel comp is ahead, a little bit less ahead, but still ahead. Banner of Command is here from the Nunu. Now even the minions work for him. He is the Minion Whisperer.
Yeah.
Remember, he can
He went from
banner
a
up.
job seeker into a management role.
And look, his CV when it comes to Minion Whisperer is looking pretty good because he can promote it and Blood Boil it.
Yeah.
Who needs to Blood Boil Karthus? We already know the Banner of Command minion's stronger than some champions.
There's a reason Banner was removed. Maybe it's because of this, who knows? Nunu doing his job, doing it well. Good manager of the minions. And, well, still have to wait here for the Karthus to get even more online. They're looking for a kill onto Teddy. He is going to dash and go in, but the flash forward into the QSS is still not going to be enough on the side of Teddy. Linderung on the other side does have to flash away.
So one tried to teleport in, but ended up canceling it after everything was said and done. No objectives to fight for on top side. So with the death 100% being registered onto the Lucian. Realm Warp in, but is this going to be enough? It's only going to take one auto.
Look at the late waste. Someone, you're talking about how nobody's really going to be building MR. Well, I think a little bit should be coming through here, at least the Merc treads, or else you might just be dying immediately.
I mean, I was even referring to no one on Jina building MR against the magic damage stacking Hanwha Live Esports, but when the Karthus gets going, I think that's a problem for both teams. MR at a premium. I see a Merc treads. The Aegises between the Banner of Command and the Rakan, but otherwise, yep, no magic resist to speak of on either team.
Still a little bit early. We're here at 19 minutes. And let's take a look at the damage dealt in total. Actually, the Vlad does the most damage, even though it hasn't been the cleanest game for Linderung. He has been diving on in and ulting a lot of people, so that does a nice bit of damage.
And also remember, for stats like this, guys, you should look at the lane that these people are in when you see the damage numbers. If you see Ornn versus another tank, he's just going to walk up and W them a million times and just adds up over time. And this is a ranged Vlad versus a melee Camille, so he just pressed Q in lane quite a few times.
It's very true. Turned out late waste is pretty good against the Dragon, too. Karthus is fantastic in doing those kinds of objectives. So they do take that one. We'll see if they think about the Baron anytime soon. It's still a very close game. We're sitting here with only a 500 gold difference 20 minutes in. So probably not anytime soon, but maybe if they do win a team fight or something like that.
Because Grace hits critical mass. The problem for Hanwha Live Esports is their comp only does one thing, dog piles. They all go in as 5. Just a Sifra comp and a different Wolf's clothings, and with that, they're all going to be in defile range, and at high enough AP values, you're going to have to use the Zonias to just disengage the ultimate. You can't disengage all of the damage. They're not going to build magic resist because they're all carries. That's going to be a struggle. If Teddy's getting the autos off, if So1's diving at the right time, feels like composition and going Karthus Nunu in the second round. Remember, this is not just showing Karthus Nunu in your first round like BBQ did the first game of the season. It's second rounding it. Very good answer to the Nocturne in particular.
Yeah. You were describing the team fight, and I was just thinking about a world in where you have Songyun, Lava, and Linderong. They all have Zhonya's, and Seongwon still has his stopwatch, and they all Zhonya's at the same time to dodge the Karthus ultimate. Okay, Songyun disappeared. Nice engage there. Looks like a 2-on-1 as Key not really in position. They want to engage now, though, onto Teddy. Does have his own stopwatch. He's going to get away for now, but here comes Nocturne into the backline. Perfect exhaust out of Umti. He's finally doing his job, and there it is. Melee waste 373 will pick up the kill. A 2-for-1 here for Jin Air.
They have a
now they're
super fast Baron. If the Lucian is hitting it, even without Illusion, Karthus does insane damage to his neutrals.
It's unbelievable. No Drakes that helped them out with this one, but okay, here comes Lava just running on in. There's a play for Trickster. Nice amount of damage. The zoning ultimate from the Nunu does absolutely nothing. Lava gonna come in and kill Nova, but they're going in onto the Vlad. Good devour there from Key. You got 2 fights here going on. MC getting low, and Songyun making his way in with the TP after reforming. Now they're coming in onto Grace, and there's not many places he can go. Let's see if he can get enough damage down with the ultimate. The Devourer comes in, and Key nor Songyun will go down. And Hanwha Life Esports actually win the fight.
And ladies and gentlemen, LCK viewers everywhere, that was a Baron throw for the ages. They walked up to it. They had no exit plans and no escape Nunu. Of course, they're going for it. The opening of this was beautiful. Nova gets another one of his great picks. Teddy is actually so slippery to get out of this predicament. We're seeing picture-in-picture the Baron slowly falling down, not much to contest it. I think Teddy played this fantastically. Even after the Nocturne comes in, you know why they turn onto the Baron, but you need to disengage from Baron, otherwise what happens in the picture-in-picture happens. You lose the Baron. Baron throw right here. They have control wards. I think, okay, we're going to be fine. There's engage. There's AoE damage. If you stand behind it, there's magic resist shred. And Lava comes in, and sadly, there's no way out for Jin Air.
You can see the small amount of damage that MT's ultimate did actually helped out against Linderong, but in the end it just was not enough. A throw for the ages, you said. I mean, they were in such a good spot. You win that kind of fight, maybe you push a couple more turrets, try to get some vision down, and your Karthus begins to do unbelievable damage afterwards, but they get wiped and they lose a Baron.
Do consider that Karthus dumped most of his damage and mana into the Baron, so for the turn, he was low mana. He actually had pretty little impact on the turn, especially for a champion who has close to 300 CS as we speak. Big problem there for the side of Jin Air. He did 4,000 damage. It could have been more if he didn't run out of mana. And because it's a funnel comp and the Lucian was dead, he needed to be doing all of the damage, and he wasn't in a position to do so.
I mean, a look at the members on the Rift right now, and actually Teddy has the blue buff. Looks like Grace was able to get one himself, so maybe they did steal that away afterwards. Didn't quite catch that, but a blue buff would have been really helpful, right? I mean, that's the blue buff that you always need on champions like Cassiopeia, like Anivia, and Karthus if you are going to be trying to go for this Baron and potentially trying to turn, because it just wasn't really able to do much afterwards. At least for Jin Air, this push isn't doing too much damage with the Baron just yet. They haven't really grouped up. They haven't found a lane to push on in, and Jin Air is still strong, not too far behind.
To answer your opening comment about the Karthus running out of mana, it's a very blue buff reliant build because you're forced to dump 2,000 odd gold into the Runic Echo, which if you're hitting jungle camps, obviously does provide you with mana sustain. You can't go that and a tier or a Rod of Ages, and the games are too short for Rod of Ages, so you need mana regen from somewhere, or to just use all of it in a team fight that goes a bit shorter. Long team fight, no mana, and now Jin Air finally going to get grouped upon a little bit by Haru.
Finally, one turret will go down here. Not the biggest Baron power play we've seen, but not so bad for Hanwha Life, who have taken the lead. They also have a very fed Fizz, 4-0 and 2. We already have 2 of our Zhonya's finished up. Rise still working on that, but he has the stopwatch, as does Seongwon, so they have answers in the future to this Karthus.
Right Vlad ultimate might answer this game and end it before the Karthus can reach full critical mass, working on, I believe, a Void Staff as his next item. Got to get value out of Grace. He's wearing a blue buff. He's close to level 16. He's the same level as the enemy Fizz. He's now in the side lane. The Lich Bane getting down some damage. Jin once again, can really only look for a group team fight, and then suddenly against Baron, they're unclear on whether they win that. So they lose some objectives, and it's the first meaningful gold lead of the game for Hanwha Life Esports.
It's about 4,000 golds here. A very good spot. They do have that split pushing Fizz down here. Doesn't even need the TP. It's very fast, can get into position, and see Grace will always need the help of Umti to help deal with that one-on-one. So another turret in that top lane actually going to be pushed up here. So they're going for all the tier 2 ones. Not quite able to finish it off though.
So now they're getting stressed by the fact that double TP is up for the enemy and they're fairly far down the lane. They don't want to move into a choke, get in trouble. All right, first time we've seen that ult hit.
Yep, this is this one-on-one I was talking about. Zhonya's completed here for Grace. Lava is going to be slowed if Umti wanted to go in, but Grace just ticking down on the extra damage from the Fizz. They will not commit.
The flash out of Fizz and hold the flash on Karthus. It could be important. Lava just flashed because he didn't have cooldown on his playful Trickster and wanted to buy enough time to get away from a future snowball. Goes away. Some important items and facts that we want to bookkeep before the inevitable action happens. Grace is pinged level 16, so level 3. In that Requiem, he has Void Staff as well. The Void Staff may seem a bit like overkill because there is pretty low magic resist on the enemy side, but Void Staff has always been total magic resist, so still going to have some relevance. Going to be very close to true damage on basically everyone, given that he has 30 flat pen and also the percentage penetration.
That will be the idea, and to think about, you know, okay, Ocean Drake, not such a big deal for Hanwha Life. Jin just still trying to hold on, right? Get that Karthus to 6 items and hope that it can carry them through the game with the help of the Lucian and the Camille beside him. Then you look at the other side, Vladimir, Ryze, and the Fizz are still going to be very scary.
Karthus, we said you can count on this team comp. You do have the AoE damage. The right fight will go the way of Grace. But we already saw Master Yi not get the right fight. There's never a guarantee. Hanwha Life Esports going to opt into it, but they're trying.
Look at Lava going deep. He's just going to burst him down. He gives his life away. Here comes the ult, though, now 4-on-4. Lots of damage onto Songyun in particular, but they do successfully disengage. It's only a 1-for-1. I suppose Fizz doing his job.
Yep, the 1-for-1 that suits Hanwha Life Esports. How often has it been a Fizz mid, and if it kills the enemy AD carry, he's done his job. The enemy team's funneling gold into the Karthus. He may as well be the MVP of the lineup because he's drawn so much of the strategy. Great 1-for-1. A lot more threats, a lot more gold on the 4 members of Hanwha Life Esports on the living 4 members of Jin. Zhonya's is on cooldown, guys, in case you were wondering. Looked a bit obvious, but was able to throw in the second ult, and that's why he didn't have Zhonya's up. He just used it previously. Go from there. We see what happens on the side of Jin. It doesn't really lose them much. They didn't even lose the turret in the bot side. So now with the Baron buff, actually pretty well set up for on the side of Jin. I think the next Baron probably decides the game.
Certainly should. We're going to take another look at the replay. Lava says, I have an angle here onto Grace. They probably will not expect it either. The Fizz closes the distance from so far away, was stunned up, so even if he did have his Zhonya's available, would not have been able to use it. Good devour there onto Lindarong, and they do disengage.
I really enjoy watching Nunu do meaningful things. He zoned away multiple people there. He was actually very, very useful and has more items than most of our slave Nunus have had so far this season. Job hunting Nunu continues his way. Grace is almost level 18. Can they get a fight where Karthus isn't picked? Because that is where all of this has been set up for. All of this has been set up to get the Karthus into a fight, to have him actually get value out of his passive, and thus far, well avoided by Hanwha Life Esports.
We talked about the next Baron, and here we go again. Even Hanwha Life has a good amount of damage. Nova pushing in. Lava actually looking for the angle here. They had vision, and he actually messes it up. Uses it on the Nunu. That's the last person you want to do it on. He's going to get in the back, though, but a really nice Vladimir ulted in, and they might just be able to rip through this entire enemy team. Just going to take him out. A double kill for the Ryze, pushing on through. Nice little stopwatch out of Songwon. That's going to be another kill. 4 for 0.
Really nicely done by Hanwha with the Nocturne ultimate. The teleport doesn't even come in from the Camille. Didn't even have it. Might have been cancelled. Hard to say. Regardless, no Camille, no problem. Hanwha Life Esports try to roll through, and they should be able to end the game right here.
Yep, that's going to do it. Another funneling strat with our Nunu card. This is going to fail. Camille's coming on in here, trying to go 1v5. And, well, spoiler, guys, it's not going to work out. Down goes the last Nexus turret, and the Nexus 1-0 for Hanwha Life Insurance.
And maybe the best early game we've seen for a funnel comp. It still fails. There's so much AoE wombo damage that it registers. There's no answer from the side of Jinair. And in a topsy-turvy game, Hanwha Life Esports outlast Jinair Greenwings.
Yeah, good job by them. They make it into the ending stages where the Camille wasn't really doing much against that Vladimir AoE damage. The Nocturne and the Fizz were doing their job in terms of bursting down one member, and they catch them at the Baron. It was a perfect Baron bait. They get the angle, and they come on in. So very, very nicely done there by Hanwha Life. Just identifying what their team composition was good at, shutting it down.
Great individual moments for Jinair. The outplay by the Camille was what seemed like the start of great news when they were up 3,000 gold and the Karthus was free farm. But the Fizz did its job. The Engage did its job. The Engage from the Vladimir also. It was a top laner, not an AD carry playing it, so they were just able to hard commit when they needed to. Good job, Linderang and friends. We're going to watch that last replay. It's because they actually have vision of Grace. They think he's going to keep walking, but Grace jukes down, and the Nunu ends up catching the ultimate. Notice the Camille is not there. Starts to channel the teleport too late from So-On. Nocturne dies. The Camille never even finishes the teleport, seeing the health bar on his friendlies. And that's the end of the line for the side of Jinair.
Even the Realm Warp to pick up the kill, but also to get away from the dead Karthus right on time. Very nicely executed towards the end. So Hanwha Life say, enough with this weird funneling stuff, at least with the Karthus Nunu. We know how to shut it down. Fantastic comp from them. But guys, we're going to go to another 12-minute break before we come back with game number 2.